So it is. Appreciate the hint that's already in the comment section saying, let's talk about it. Who is it that's using this, Mikey? You recently talked about Chavez. And the comments are so small, you guys. They're not really for you. You can't see them. You're probably seeing it from a pinche mobile phone. It's for me, so I can see them. So I don't have to open a second window. Appreciate the first super chat. Ramiro, I see you. I see you. He tapped in for the conversation. It's a good conversation, too. It's going to be a good one. So do your boy the favor. Do that big 3. Hit that like. And hit that subscribe. Okay, let me, so we can get the formalities out of the way, because this is going to be a good conversation. And then I'm going to open up the lines, even though the phone number's down there. Don't call yet. Don't call yet, cabrones. Boom. My. For all the winners. Good looking out to all the winners. All they did was, make a phone call, and some of those movie quotes are funny as hell. Like, what's it called? Remember on Carlito, no, on Donnie Brasco. You're walking out on me? You don't walk out on me. I walk out on you. You guys chose the colors. So, okay, aquí querían someone at all the colors. I think this is a hoodie, and I think they're the taza. So all the chenata drinkers, some cafes in here, same one, probably, maybe. I promise. Sign a waiver. So good looking out to all the winners, though. I said that to say that. Good looking out to all the winners, and we'll do another giveaway, you guys. It ain't about the money; it's about the message. I've been saying that from day one. So let's go ahead and get into what the topic is about. People are asking; they're wanting to know, Mikey. You talk about Chicanos, and I can only speak from my own experience. I can't speak for other ethnicities. There is, right? You know what's always bugged me? Has been the labels on the cans, right? So there's been a lot of labels put on the cans, right? One that kind of bugs me, and it may not bug you. Hey, it is what it is Hispano. That one always bugged me. Hispano always bugged me. And the reason it always bugged me is because I knew it had roots in being Spaniard. And of course I'm mixed. Of course I have Spanish blood. Ni modo que soy tonto. O sea, ni modo que I don't see the Spanish blood in me. We're all mixed. Okay? Let's just lay that down right off the top. Okay? But just to put the label on the can is what always bugged me. Has to be this, has to be that. I'm gonna give you guys some numbers. I'm gonna let you know how powerful, I'm saying this, is how powerful the raza united, getting together can be in a state like California. I'll premise it by saying this. You've always heard me say, oh yeah, talking politics is a buzzkill. Yes, it's a buzzkill. Why do I say that? Well, I mean, I'm really having a drink or something like that with the buddies. We're probably talking football. We're talking about fights. We're talking guy stuff, the ramfla or whatever. That'll be on the Chicano word of the day. We'll put that one up there soon for those that don't know what that word means. We're talking other things, right? Not really politics. Okay, not really politics. But a state like California, with a mobilization of the gente together, can sway un chingo de cosas. Un chingo. The numbers are staggering when I looked them up, and we're going to talk about them right now, and then we'll open up the phone lines. I got some numbers coming from the U.S. Census. This is what the U.S. Census says. The U.S. Census says California has a current population of 40.2 million. So there's 40.2 million total overall gente. Okay, total overall gente. And what does that afford California? Well, in politics, just speaking from a political point of view, in the House of Representatives, The more the population, the more the representatives. And so the more the representatives, the more pull nationwide, cabrones. California has the highest amount. It has 52. Then Texas, Florida, and New York. It's a trip, though, that only 20 million adults are registered to vote in this state. And for a long time, a lot of people oversaw the power in voting. Not to our pinches grandparents who came over here. Because, okay, like during barely the turn of the 20th century, when they're coming over here, maybe under like the Bracero program, and they're working over here, okay? Everything that they had was unequal. Those Mexican immigrants in the early 20th centuries, they took jobs like laborers and seasonal workers and working on ranchos and everything. But in the beginning, being a Chicano, Mexican American, or really just being Mexicano and working across on the U.S. side, okay, on the U.S. side, it led to isolation, segregation of communities, and there was very few economic opportunities. Very few. I would say this. I'm going to go out and say this very, very boldly as well. I will say that the Chicano struggle for political and civil rights has received far less attention than the struggles of other minority groups for social justice and everything else. I think so. But there's a sleeping giant. There's a sleeping giant in Chicanos. And of course they call it, they remember I was talking about this, Chicanos, Mexicans, Mexican Americans, Hispanics. Of course, that's another one. But I started off by saying, it rubs me a little bit the wrong way. I don't know. It is what it is. The hater world. I see you, puro Mexicali. Oh, yeah, cabrón. ¿No sabes que vamos allá 4 or 5 times cada pinche año? Oh, yeah, ya están los primos, man. Shout out to the hater world. Miss Chicano Tubes in the building. Bonk Donkey, I see you, my boy. Let's get back to talking about how strong Chicanos can be if we just mobilized. We got up and we mobilized. No, I'm not saying here, you got to get behind this person, get behind that person. No, I'm not saying none of that. The people will automatically know who to get behind. And that's no joke. The people are automatically going to know who to get behind. That person is just someone that you know. O sea, es una vibra. It's really not, you're not going to question it. It's just going to be someone that's going to attract, and just like pinche gente that have come along. Can we, though, historically get behind a person? We definitely can. Because when the Chicano movement of the 60s kicked off, it suddenly just burned Chicanismo. All of a sudden, everywhere. You know what I mean? It got its own identity saying, ¿sabes qué? No somos de aquí, ni somos de allá. Allá no nos quieren, aquí no nos quieren. Pero ¿sabes qué? We can come together, and a movement was made. And struggles rose across the Southwest to register voters and to organize farm workers. This is in the 60s. So this is why it is essential for the gente to mobilize and move on what they want. I'm going to only tell you straight fucking from the corazón, no filter. You already know how I am. I don't got time for BS. The top things me and you should be concerned about is the economy, especially in the fucking day that we're living in right now. I mean, the economy, you don't got to pay attention to politics for shit. But if the economy is going good, there's more money in your pocket. And if there's more money in your pocket, your familia is better off to have a better lifestyle. True or false? True or false? On top of the economy, healthcare, education, violent crime, gun policy. We can get into all that. Voting policy, immigration, abortion is another very sensitive one. We can get into all that. But this is what should be top priority for Chicanos. in my opinion, this is exactly what needs to be put first and foremost on the table in order for our families to have a better quality of living. There's been a great effort put in by gente, because I'm telling you, it takes the hood to reach the hood. It takes the streets to reach the streets. I knew that more rec centers weren't going to be it. More programs wasn't going to be it. What was going to be it was mentors coming back inside the community and putting their hands inside the masa again. It's probably had been there already once, of course, growing up. That's what it takes to make changes. So now, even in Salinas, we're in single percent violent crime. Guild. That's an effort right there. Shout out to, you know who you are. A lot of these cats ain't got no social media. A lot of my partners, they're old school like me. Come on, I'm in my 40s, cabrones. They ain't even got no social media. You know what I mean? One of them who his son is a pro boxer. He's like 24-1. You know, I see him at the fights, but he ain't got no social media. I'm like, get an IG, cabron. Get on IG, cabron. But they're too old school. They ain't even got IG. They don't got none of that. Where do we leave off? Okay. 40. Okay, let's talk about how Chicanos identify in California. This does have something to do with it. Tierra caliente así, my boy, la raza. My dad is from Cualcomán, right? Right next door to Cualcomán is that fucking city. Tierras, I want to say with the S caliente. Now it's all narco territory, bro. I would never take the family over there. They pulling you over in black Suburbans over there. And I don't know if you're talking about Michoacán, but that's where Pops is from. Shout out Hater World. Hater World is talking about where the wife is from, you know, and all the family. So every time there's a quince, a birthday party, the invitation comes from Chicano. 46% of Chicanos are Democrats in California. 24% of Chicanos are registered Republicans. Another 24%, no party preference. Les vale. Maybe some of these popular groups that are called libertarians, or that might be the last 6%, which says are registered as others. And that's it. What does this mean? That means, okay, I was looking at the website the other night. You know what? It had me fucking thinking. I don't try to put more on my plate than I can already handle. I hate making promise. I never make a promise. You know, my word is all I fucking have. I'm going to go down and doing it. And that's why the youngsters say, Mike, why do you only come once a month? I tell them, cabrones, I'm not going to over promise and under deliver. I'm going to do the opposite. I'd rather under promise and over deliver. I said, I'm just stretched out too thin. I used to go over to the CTF and yeah, I was like 10, 11 years ago. But I was looking at the City of Salinas website and I seen they have a youth commission. They have two things in the governing body over there. They have commissions and they have boards. And all of those deal directly with the city councilman. That means the city councilman in the district, that's the whole politics, that's the whole structure of the City of Salinas. Everywhere is different because tiene diferentes tamaños. One of my very, probably was the second interview I ever did, and that's when I was doing like sit-down interviews. I'm gonna get back into it. Got some ideas from sit-down interviews. She was a gang prevention specialist right here for the City of Salinas. She had an office. I said had, she moved. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. She had an office at Hebron Heights. On Hebron Heights, right on the corner of Fremont and Hebron Street in Salinas. She invited me over to the gang. It was like they just call it the prevention convention. And that's kind of what kicked it off. You know what? Talking to the youngsters, they can relate to you. I'm telling you, 100 times better. They can relate to you because you've been through the desmadre. Or maybe you're still there. Maybe you're still in the community, right? A lot of people aren't. And a lot of people are. And me, I'm still in the community. That's where we do, you know, backpack drives and whatever else that we can for the community. But anyways, I don't want to digress. Some fucking gente, they comment and they say the digress king. I'm thinking as I get more time on my hand, of course, this is all, you know, it's part of Dios's plan. It's not mine. Yo nomás, hey, lo que quieres, señor. as time permits on the business side, we're going to get more involved. And we're going to take it to a whole nother level. And in that way, we can really do damage to all the damage that's already been done. Because a lot of the, and I'm digressing here, because a lot of the youngsters, they can't let go. They can't let go. And they say, Mikey, but have you ever felt an hermano and a cousin? And yes, I have. And it's a son of a bitch, man. And all I can say is, the future, you still have control of. Don't stop growing to the youngsters. I don't want to get off on a message to the youngsters. I'm already digressing. For Chicanos in California, let's get back to Chicanos in California. For Chicanos in California to mobilize together, get together, and move in unison with one voice, is it even possible? Because you got this side of the aisle and you got this side of the aisle. I know we're talking politics. I say this. There's a movement of gente like me that we don't know red, and it's not Crips and Bloods with us, okay? We don't know red, we don't know blue when it comes to the political side of the aisle. But we know what we grew up in. We know the experiences that we had. And people can identify when they have similar experiences like that. And I'm telling the people that this is what it's gonna take in order for the gente to unite together under one umbrella. It's gonna take a realization, there's a bigger picture at hand. Even this other shit about, who's Chicano, who's not Chicano, we're not going back to that conversation. The videos that were deleted on that fucking conversation is buried in the past. Because that's putting us at each other's throats. And I ain't hating. Shit, if that's your content and that's your lane, you do what you do. I gotta put food on the table as well. If you're a YouTube content creator, do that. Do what you do. Not everything has to be on a positive on YouTube. I guess I said that to say that. Not everything has to be positive, but it's gonna be your cup of tea. But what I'm saying is that we're not gonna go backward and start arguing about, are you brown enough? Are you not brown? Because a lot of people don't even want to hear this truth. But Mexico tiene un chingo de gente que les caen mal. O sea, within themselves. You got gente over, my mom, okay, was from San Jose de Gracia. That's a place in Jalisco where there are puros güeros y tienen ojos verdes, la mayoría. And some have blue. And then you come from other, this is tribal, you can call it tribal hating. And there's other parts of Mexico where the skin color is darker. It's a medium shade darker, it's a full shade darker, it's 2 full shades darker, no matter what it is. Y aquí vienen los mexicanos. We do go at each other's throats a lot. A lot. I don't know if it's the hater bug. What is it? Genetics? I know you're not just tuning in right now and be like, man, is this guy Chicano too? Is he just knocking Chicanos? No, I'm not. Man, you don't know, for one, me, or watch any of my content, or maybe you just jumped on right now. What you need to do is hit the like. We talk about Chicano issues on here. They're using us. People wanted to know in the caption. People wanted to know, well, who are you talking about? I'm saying they're using us. Anyone that can use us. Anyone that can use us is using us. Because we're not mobilizing together. Because there's too much, mira allá, y este güey, y ese pendejo. And over here it looks like a circus. And this and that and this and that. And no one's perfect. I'm the last one que va a aventar una piedra. I'm not the judge and jury of shit. I only control me, my four, no more. That's it. Shout out to Miss Brenda Love. I see you. Brenda La Chicana's in the building. Randy J, I see you. Chicago Dumb. You drank the Kool-Aid. I drank it, man. I drank the Kool-Aid. That's the audio producer right there. Wait. Troquero Locochon, I see you. Mo Money. Burqueños in here. That's right, Mo Money said. That's right. Back when my grandparents came over here, and it was hard. It was hard, First, when the Depression came, gone. It was called repatriation. It was called the repatriation. So there was like 500,000 people. There was only left in the whole country of the United States about 30,000 Mexicanos. And of course, they were already starting to have Chicanos. There was only like 33,000 from what was going to hit 1 million pretty soon, and 500 million had to go back because of the Great Depression. But when did they want Mexicanos to come back? They wanted Mexicanos to come back for World War II. They needed Mexicanos, okay? They needed them to come back. It was a demand for labor. It resumed again for World War II because guess what? I mean, yes, it's been years. Gente are struggling. A lot of people went back to Mexico. And a lot of people that were U.S. citizens got thrown back to Mexico. Was what it was. Different times. I'm talking about the times of my grandparents. And it was right after that time. Remember, all this is happening right after there was it after? Before. There was when all of a sudden the United States started registering everything, okay? They started getting taxes on the record. They started getting title. I believe it was called an annexation. The annexation was happening. That means they're moving natives and putting them on reservations and doing all this and doing all this is during this time right here. This is this time period right here. And then all of a sudden kicked off World War II. And you remember World War II was they called those cabrones, it was the Axis versus the Allies. That was the last sweep of Germany. And the whole time, when Chicanos came over, they didn't want them to speak Spanish. It was to speak English. I get it. And I'm not saying this to dive back in time or bringing up old shit, nor am I saying, okay, because there's some people that go way off the deep end, okay, nor am I saying, are we at a time where we need to go back to having temples, cabrones, and wearing feathers on our heads? And obviously, that's not the time that we live in. I mean, obviously. Did I even have to say that? No, I'm for evolution. Evolution of gente, evolution of thinking. And what can we do to deal with things that affect me and you? Like the economy, like what's going on right now. Like that Mexico has a higher GDP than the United States. I mean, real life things. How can we thrive? The gente in California, a lot of them are standing up. You seen the last couple videos that I did? It was about the children. I'm telling you. Este pinche estado, they don't like to hear that. They don't like. There's certain browsers también of information. I got to go to certain browsers to get accurate information because there's other certain browsers tapan todo. O sea, there's a big move of censorship happening, gente. A big move of censorship where at this point in 2023, I hope and I pray that you would have already known that when you hear something, you're going to have to research it on the news for yourself because the news isn't the news. It's more of an agenda and te están lavando el coco for what it is. So if everything constantly says it's a bed of roses, all of a sudden you get a movie made that brings attention to real shit. It brings attention to real shit that affect me and that affect you, like our children. And something like that gets fought. And something like that gets blocked and censored. And that's what I'm saying. If Chicanos Mobilizing California could be unstoppable. Spinal, talk to me. You're live on Wednesday Open Talk. ¿Cómo estás, cabrón? Tacuachando, man. Hey, cuando amanecían los gallos muertos in the rancho, right? Tacuache. I don't know what I used to think, is that a big ass rooster on steroids? Or is that a fucking possum? Pero ¿qué son? Real quick. Okay, I knew it was one of the two. I wasn't wrong. Yep. Yo, man, we're just trying to give a voice to the people, okay, no? I mean, something that the people matter. If not, we could be talking about WAC 100. We could be talking about Adam 22 and his wife. I mean, we could, and their business. But what I'd rather do is spend every single minute that I got here on Chicano 2 and try to help the people. Oh yes, that's a wonderful thing. What do I think? That's a wonderful thing. Me and the individual, we might have differences, but it don't matter if we have differences. It's for the greater good. You know what? Pretty soon the voice is gonna get too big. It's all about grinding and putting in the work. That's the only way you're gonna get it. You're not gonna get it by handouts, grinding and putting in the work. I think this shit started picking up as soon as I said, you know what? I'm not looking at this thing as something to do. I'm looking at this thing as a message, and all of a sudden the people started tapping in. All I'm saying is that, and then when the wifey came on board, we just said, we're taking this Chicano thing as far as we can because it's a huge demographic inside Califas, bro. Bro, we're making up 40% of the population in California way. How much power is that if the gente could mobilize and get together? It's possible. It's possible. It can happen. You know what? Across party aisles, they have to work together for the common good and get shit done. That's what I want to do. That's right. That's right, my boy. I appreciate you for tapping in. Stay tuned, my boy. There's much more.
You can't hear the voice.
I appreciate you, Spinal. Stay tapped in. Ándale. Yeah, I know they weren't able to hear the last caller. Technical difficulties. It's always something, cabrones. It's always something. Um, it is what it is. Keep this thing moving. Keep this thing pushing. Gracias. EBK family, I send mine to everyone in here. I send mine to you. Nino America. He said MAGA. He's coming in with MAGA. People often ask me, right? Well, what do you think? MAGA this, MAGA that. I'm going to give you the whole backstory. I'll let you know. First off, I didn't give a shit about politics ever, right? I don't have no time for none of that. The first time I ever really got interested in it was 2017. I heard episode 911, Joe Rogan, right? And when it was Eddie Bravo, Joe Rogan, and Alex Jones, right? And he's talking about this and he's talking about that. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I don't rule nothing out. But I still didn't care anything about politics. All of a sudden, he said MAGA, right? That's why I'm saying that to say this. I see, oh, this guy's running for president, right? I said, this is interesting as hell. Who is this guy? He's the fucking guy that hosted all of the fucking mega fights in Atlantic City, Hotel Billionaire. And I said, oh yeah, this guy, you know what I mean? Everyone and their mama wanted to take a picture with them back then, right? Mike Tyson, you name it, all the R&B singers, all the pop singers, Mariah, you name it. Everyone went through Trump Towers and stuff like that. And then he ran for president, and my honest opinion is he threw a monkey wrench inside the whole fucking operation. They said, wait a second, this fucking guy, American Cholo said it the other day. He's going now appointed as neighborhood council, and he's seeing, wait a second, the majority have some kind of whacked out fucking thinking más jeringas, más droga les va a ayudar. No. One of the biggest problems we're facing here in Salinas is the Chinatown. We'll talk about that. But anyways, that's what I'm talking about, is we got to be in positions where we could do the most damage. In California, there's going to be a movement of gente, I'm telling you, the gente are just going to get behind. Ain't going to be no questioning. You're just going to get behind the movement, and you're going to move, and you're going to mobilize, because what we're talking about is the real shit. It reminds me of Baby Bash. He posted one of the most realist IG stories I ever heard. I guess we could try another call, you guys. If it drops or if you can't hear it, my bad. We'll just keep it to like a minute. But I send mine to everyone. Spinal, I see you. Sanho Lifer, of course I see you, my boy. Robert C. Spider-Man, Sanho Lifer. No llores, he says. No llores, no llores. to when Baby Bash posted. Turn this down. You guys are gonna hear my stories maybe. He posted. He said, "Hey, if I lose fans because I'm trying to protect children from being assaulted and traficando," he said, "Motherfuck them fans." And I expressed the same sentiment. It's the same damn thing. It's gente that grew up in the neighborhoods are gonna speak from their heart. We're gonna go back inside the communities and do the most damage. And do the most damage right there, still in the neighborhood. That's where it's gonna start. It's gonna start in the neighborhood and then branch out. So I went to the Citizens website the other day and I said, might have to get on that youth commission. Might have to get on one of these advisory boards. Now, I don't know about the police advisory board. All of a sudden, people are going to start doing newspaper articles, and really all that shit is it's actually a voice so that the police, the law enforcement agency, your local law enforcement, can hear if there's any pinchy maldoing. You know, it's not happening no more. I mean, it is happening, but to a very low percentile. I know this. In the city of Salinas, we're in single percentile when it comes to crime. We're in single. And we're always been at 24%, 23%. All of these numbers, of course, I've seen them decline for now 10 years plus now, single percentile. But it's not the 90s anymore. Okay, in the 90s, yes, I've been night-sticked. Fucking one time when they threw me over on the adult side and I was only 16, and 3 of them I mouthed off and they rushed me, and then they just let me go out the back door. It was what it was. This is the 90s. That was the 90s. This is different. It's not that happening anymore. Now they got cameras everywhere. Everything can be seen, so don't think you're getting away from anything. Don't think you can get away from anything. But that's where I think is when I have more time, not if, let's say, when I make time, that's going to be the next level, and we're going to reach these youngsters right over here in a whole different manner. Now, my sister from another mother, she knows who she is. She was like the second interview on the channel. She had a good group over there at the Hebron Heights Center, right in Salinas. She had a good group over there. And she's the one that introduced me to that gang conference. It happens every single year in Monterey County over here. And here come all these resources and all these different programs to come to one place. That's where the real work is being done, right there. That's going to be the shining crown. If I have any kind of crown, I help somebody. In the end, I was able to turn it around and help someone. I appreciate you, Eric C. Buqueño. That's right, the Kings fan. I see you, Nino America. I help my community. That's right, man. There's a lot of people with us, people that act a certain way, the most judgmental people, right? Oh, he doesn't do. Or show me, don't tell me. Show me, right? We got to get back to that. That's principle, because anyone can tell me. And now it's the clout generation. Anyone can tell me, but can you show me? Show me by being inside the community and doing something good. I digressed already from the topic at hand, but I might as well just wrap it up by saying these kind of words right here. If anyone else wants to try, we'll leave the phone line open. There was one, last one, a little bit of a difficulty, but we can try it again. We got another call, so good. We'll try it again. Just give me a couple test words, because I don't even see the levels going up and down, cabrón. That's it. We're not having it. They're not having it. Hey, you're gonna. That was the audio executive producer, you guys, but we're gonna let him go. Hey, I'll hit you after, cabrón. I'll repeat what you say then. I'll repeat what you say because they can't hear you. If the Democrat Party is the detriment to America, and the other party appears to be the opposite, for the people, by the people, is this the same party that was in power in 2001 when 9/11 the towers went down? our own government, attract our own country. But the question is, on behalf of who, and on behalf of, and for why? Most atrocities happen on the Republican side of the history. Oklahoma City bombings, 2001, the wars. All right, Cabron, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to talk to the people, but they heard you. I was repeating everything you said, Cabron. You got your point off. There's the audio executive producer getting it off his chest. For sure. It's the Cabron right here. He calls in, but he always is going to get in. We're going to wrap it up right now. Pretty soon, gente. But he's wanted talking about events. He's talking about bad events and administrations that were in control under certain events. How much blame do they get? Is that just a mirror or smoke screen also, looking at it on both sides of the screen? Did they really land on the pinchy moon? Or was that all staged and they didn't land on the moon? They can fake the pinchy moon landing. They can fake anything else in the pinchy world. They control the TVs. And they control everything that you hear. And believe me, they're using us, cabrones. They'll pick us up every 2 years. They'll pick us up every 4 years. And they'll promise us the world, right? They're always going to say this. You know what? Here's the biggest fucking scam on planet Earth. You ready? Here we go. The biggest scam on planet Earth, when politicians need to line their pockets up and it's time for us, hey, Christmas is coming up. You know, we need to hit that Christmas lick. What do? Propose a bill. That's the biggest one right there. Propose a bill. And there's articles coming out. All of a sudden, $6 billion that wasn't found, misaccounted for, misappropriated at the Pentagon. Oh, that's not the truth. Actually, the $6 billion went to Ukraine. And actually, what I believe, the $6 billion that they said a correction went to Ukraine actually went to someone's pockets. But just like DJ Cholo asked right now, to whose and for what? I say it's the powers that be. I say it's the powers that be, the people that really control. Chicanos can mobilize. Are you kidding me? 40% of Califas, if we rose up and got together and moved, oh, we can get some shit done. We can get some shit done within the state borders. It's controlled by who it's controlled by. And it's going to always be chess. It's not checkers. You know, we thinking we're hanging off a fucking cliff. I'm thinking one person is the savior of the world. They're not. I'll tell you who can do it, though. The people together. Orale Jojo AZ says, I love Trump. Trae el way, huh? Host another super fight. He always goes to UFC Florida, huh? Every time he walks in with game bred Mazel. And for some reason, he rubs people wrong some way. And it's like,